Hey everyone, Kirk the Jester. Today I just wanted to take some time to talk about how wrong it is that people who are made victims at their workplace are being completely ignored in the state of California. I would just like to give you some examples of the egregious behavior and the unlawful acts that were committed by my former employer Denny's in Baldwin Park, California. They commit they commit them out in the open and with no fear of consequences being handed down by those responsible for enforcing workplace rights of employees in the state of California. After exhausting my resources completely at Denny's in an effort to get them to stop breaking laws and to start treating me fairly, an effort that was not only made in vain but also led to the managerial team making regular attempts to try to either make me voluntarily leave or punish me for unjust reasons and in an inconsistent manner than others were punished for the same reasons. I finally, after 1 year and 8 months, felt forced to quit my job in the fear that eventually one of their attempts were going to succeed in making me look like the bad guy or a troublemaker. Even though it was just washing dishes, I liked my job, and it was within walking distance from my grandma's house, which is where I was staying at the time during my time with Denny's. And even unemployment agreed with me that what they were doing was wrong, and they ended up giving me unemployment even though I voluntarily quit because they could tell that I did not want to but felt I was left with no other choice. Unemployment almost never allows workers that quit their jobs to collect unemployment. So I got all my information together about all the things that happened while I was working there and sent it off to the DFEH. In order to sue a place in the state of California, everyone must first obtain a right to sue letter through either the DFEH for state matters or the EEOC for federal matters. They chose not to investigate it any further, but they told me that my case did have merit and that I should contact a private attorney and pursue it. Since then, I have contacted over 30 lawyers, signed up for several employment litigation referral services, reached out to pro bono organizations, written to department after department within both the California as well as the United States justice system, seeking aid, including several supposed watchdog organizations. I have received no help at all. I have contacted all the state officials at the top of the hierarchy within the state, and some who claim to be such a huge advocate of enforcing workers' rights in California. Most of them didn't even bother to acknowledge me, and the few that did all had the same response. Nope, sorry, wrong place. We aren't the ones responsible for this sort of thing, and unfortunately, we do not know who is. Thanks for writing. I've become more frustrated and more resentful with every seemingly pointless attempt to get justice. My last day of work at Denny's was October 2nd, 2017. I started in March of 2016. So I have been trying to get some help now for at least 2 years, not including all the time I've spent trying to get them to do things the right way the entire time I was still working at Denny's as well. Most of these are clear and very obvious violations of the rules and laws regarding the treatment of workers in the state of California. They have been clearly brought to the attention of those responsible for enforcing those rules and laws. Yet they continue to be ignored, allowing employers in California to continue breaking laws without fear of any consequences, while allowing victims to continue to suffer. I don't even know of anybody else left for me to go to now for help. I have written and rewritten all this stuff and researched for so many hours, trying to find ways to convince those in charge to take the necessary actions to stop all this. Everybody seems to be in on this conspiracy. I'm talking everybody. They are trying their best to ignore me and to stall me until I either just give up or my time runs out for the statutes, which they know is coming up soon. So I decided to post my story up on YouTube to try to appeal to the American people and also to have a recording of my whole side of things that I can just give the link to all those people to watch instead of having to keep redoing everything each time, and all so that the recipients can just choose to ignore me again. It is important that we are able to hold government officials accountable to the public in order to prevent them from doing stuff like this. Just ignoring people's problems until their time runs out, either by the time limits imposed by them or the fact that eventually the victims will be forced to focus on other stuff just to maintain. Uh, so feel free to comment if you have any insight on this issue and if it will not affect any current legal case that you may be involved in. Whether you're a victim, a greedy server, a seemingly pointless manager, or even if you believe you are not a greedy server or not a pointless manager. I'm also breaking it up into individual sections as it appears to be too difficult for people to be able to focus long enough to reach the parts that they are responsible for enforcing. And keep in mind, folks, I'm just a dishwasher. I should not have had to deal with any of this at all. All I wanted was to go to my job, be treated fairly, and split. That's it.